Am I a faculty member being hypocritical when I tell my students they cannot use AI, but I use AI to create an assignment? Hello, everybody. This is Nick Otero, Professor of Information Technologies and Computer Science. In this video, I am going to use AI to create an AI discussion and kind of explain where I don't believe we're being hypocritical when we use AI in this particular situation, even in a situation where we tell students that they can't use AI. Let's go up to my screen. I'm going to start with our friend ChatGPT. And I've already done it, but I've asked ChatGPT the question, create a college level discussion topics associated with AI and copyright. Now think about this. This could be an outstanding discussion if I'm working as a faculty member thinking, I got to come up with some kind of discussion topics. I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me an example. And the reason I did this was for several reasons. But the biggest reason is I know this particular question has been asked to ChatGPT and the other open AI platforms millions of times, right? So these particular platforms are now kind of understanding what people are looking for in discussion topics. Could I have created this discussion topic on my own? Absolutely. It would have probably cost me a few hours of investigation and kind of deep diving into things. But I said, you know what? There's probably millions of people before me that had this similar question. So the first thing I did was the question I'm going to ask is something I'm going to assume that many, many people have begun to ask. So I asked the question, the comment was, create a college level discussion topics associated with AI. And sure enough, it came up with 10 in the matter of literally a couple seconds. So I've already kind of deferred to an expert that's been asked this question many times, and within seconds it posed those topics back to me. The role of AI in content creation, who's the copyright, ethical implementation of AI in artistic creation. Where's the one I thought? Oh, this one here. Deepfakes, AI generated deepfakes and copyright implications. Explore the copyright implications of AI generated deepfakes, particularly when these deepfakes involve copyrighted material. What legal protections exist within? That sounds like a very exciting question for me. And I think some people would be generally interested in it as we see more and more of these deep fakes, some of the advertisements that are actually stealing the copyright images of famous actors out there, or commentators out there. So you know what? I have a discussion topic already. AI generated deepfakes and all right. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and I already have a discussion, a blank discussion forum ready. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is take the question and put it in the body here. All right. Not good enough. Really, really not good enough here because, yeah, I've just taken the first step. If you notice in the Blackboard system, you know what? I'm going to change my, had to move some screens around. Anyways, if you notice in the Blackboard Ultra, they have auto-generate discussion. Guess what that is? That's another form of AI that's built into Ultra. So what I would do is I'm going to take this item right here, going to copy it. I'm going to go to auto generate, put it into the description. I'm going to fool around a little bit with a little bit of Bloom's taxonomy. I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to say apply, and complexity level, just 2 clicks. I'm going to generate some additional information that would be associated with this particular discussion. And this is what I've done. I have numerous discussions, right, in my particular Blackboard site. And instead of, sitting here for hours creating these discussions, this is what I will often do. Yes, there are discussions that I create because I'm trying to hit certain topics, but I'll use AI in this regard, and I can, we'll just pick one. We'll pick this one, and we'll say add, and it put that particular information right where I wanted it. And I'm not going to go deeper into this, but basically, I would do some cutting and pasting. I would look for maybe a bias in there, maybe something I don't agree, or maybe it's too long, or it's something I'm not particularly interested in. But imagine I would take this initial content. Now, I would never just do a straight copy and paste. I just don't trust the technology enough. I would always read this technology, I would read this results and make the edits. So eventually it does become a majority me. But understand for demonstration purposes, I'm not doing any of that. And I now have let's wrap some things up here. I started this conversation with, am I being a hypocrite when I use AI to generate content? But yet I tell my students they are not allowed to use AI. Let me divert for a second here and pose a question, both to students and faculty. How many faculty members use their own textbook, a textbook that they've written? Now, many do, but many do not. I would say the vast majority of faculty in most colleges and universities don't write their own textbooks. How many faculty members use test banks versus creating their own? How many faculty members may use content associated from a publisher versus something that they generated? And many times we'll do that just to expedite things. So in the discussion topic that I created, a little demonstration I did was I went out there and I began to ask ChatGPT, just happened to be the AI that I picked, 4 topics. I went under the assumption that it's probably been asked those questions many, many times. And it gave me the top 10 responses. I then put that into my discussion thread. And then I asked our learning management system, we use Blackboard Ultra, our learning management system, hey, let's generate some more content that would be associated with it. But at no point would I completely turn over everything to the AI. I have to read those particular questions. Very similar if I was to use a test bank. It's imperative that I go through the questions and make sure that the questions are correct, right? It'd be the same thing with AI. I would have to look at if there's a bias in there, if there's content that I'm really not interested in, or maybe AI took me into a different direction. We have been using content from other locations. We cite it. We let you know this is from a publisher and this is from AI, but we've been using content from other locations for thousands of years. So no, I don't believe that we are being hypocritical when we use this type of technology, as long as we're the humans driving this. As long as I'm verifying the discussion, as long as I'm participating with the students, as long as I can explain to the student what is going on. So I just expedited things. Now, let's talk about that expediting of things. Let's say I want to create, and I've been doing this, let's say I want to create not just one discussion question, I want to create a whole series of discussion questions, maybe 10, 20, 30 discussion questions. Yes, I'm going to go to AI and say, what are the topics that you would suggest here? And then I would peruse them. And it allows me to expedite the creation of those discussion questions. I could potentially do it with essay questions and things like that, but this is the first area that I've kind of explored. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It was just a real quick demonstration of how we can use AI to create some quick content. Now, I would slow things down a little bit, obviously, got to read the material, but I'm going to use it. That being said, let's go and learn something.